5:06. I will call the Plan Commission meeting to order for April 20th, 2026. Has everybody got a chance to look at the minutes?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion? Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. A concept plan review for Affolter of Brummel Road, south of County Road and west and north sides of Brummel Road. All right. We have time.
You guys have a couple copies of it, hopefully. Brought a few. This is helpful or not to look at. So we're looking at Brummel Road and just south of Ben. It's basically a 40-acre parcel laid out for 14 lots, 2.5 acres, most of the lots, just over a quarter mile of roadway. We submitted it and got some comments back from Eric and Bryce on this. And at this point, I haven't really incorporated those into a revision of the concepts. I didn't have time, but I want to bring here. Have a look from the Plan Commission, see if you guys have questions related to this. The biggest item I think that came up in their review was driveways and driveways on Brummel Road. So it would just basically be a question of considering the traffic on Brummel Road, if driveways in a major subdivision like this are going to be an issue with the town, or if this layout could move ahead as it's drawn.
Eric, do you know what Brummel Road is classified as?
I do not.
It's probably a C. I don't believe it's a collector.
I wouldn't think so.
It isn't it at some point turn into gravel? Where is that?
Yeah, just south of this property, there's one house you can see on the edge of the concept. It turns to gravel right after that house. And that's where it goes into the town of Troy as well. This is south line of the property would be
So
the
like this is gravel?
Town line.
town boundary. Yep.
And County Road U is just to the east of it.
Yep. County Road U is, I believe, a quarter mile east of it. Maybe it's a half. I think it's only a quarter.
It's not far.
It's not far.
I don't have a problem with driveways coming off of Brummel since it's not a collector. People don't really use it as a shortcut. They might once Troy decides to blacktop the rest of Brummel, but I know my wife's not going down.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it'd be much of a shortcut.
I don't know how you would with you right there.
Unless you're going to take it right on top.
Right.
So,
Yeah, the code, actually there's one line in the code that says that subdivisions new subdivisions, homes should front on new road, and then the very next line says that they can front on either new roads or existing roads. So it's allowed, as they say, the way that it's laid out, lot standards, driveway access, all it needs code. So biggest thing with these concepts really is looking at the road layout before they go into a bunch of engineering on the roadway. They want kind of a nod that they're going in the right direction with their plans.
what about the intersection of the road? Issues with that?
So, no, and I hesitate just a little bit because at first I'm like, oh, do we really want it right on that curve? There's an earlier concept, just a hand sketch that came off of the north-south section on the east side of Brummel Road. But really the sight distance is good there. People are already slowed down for the curves. I don't see an issue.
Yeah, with those tight 90-degree corners like that, that's what I found too. If you're on the outside of it, you can kind of see where the new pavement would end at the edge of the old, and your sight distance goes all the way back to that other corner, and it goes south the same way. You pretty much have sight distance as far as you can see, because you're inside the road right away from the point you'd be sitting at the intersection. And that's kind of why I put it there. I don't think putting them around, 100 feet past the corner, because people can come around those and then they wouldn't see you, where this actually is probably better than that.
Well, I don't disagree that coming out of the subdivision, looking both ways with that great sight vision. I'm thinking people coming north on Brummel out of Troy might go straight.
I was actually thinking that because of the way it's angled, they'd be less likely to do that as opposed to going straight into that development.
I just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
If people are going too fast and can't make that corner, they're going to end up going down that road. I've even seen a car at the end of County Road U hitting County Road N and actually hitting the house on County Road N. So, I just want to avoid anything that could go wrong. I don't know if you've seen this type of intersection.
Yeah, we have them, rural road layouts.
I know with county roads, a lot of times they used to have similar situations. They'd have a big curve and then you'd have the two roads coming off, and a lot of those ended up getting eliminated in favor of one T-style intersection, so you didn't have those bypasses.
Right, they've changed a lot of the old ones, so just have one connection on the curb.
Yep.
And then, the person leaving the subdivision, in this case, is able to see both ways, a lot easier.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a problem with people leaving the subdivision, being able to see both ways. I'm just thinking about the people coming down Brummel and not taking the curve.
Yeah, I haven't been out to look at what signage is there coming out of Troy.
I think there's some yellow
Gonna be some
arrows.
Yeah. And as far as Hudson, I wouldn't expect that to be a problem, just because they've got to come around 190 curve and slow down before they get there.
And that part I'm not worried about, just worried about people coming north on Brummel. That was my thoughts. Other than that, I like the concept, so it's not. Anybody have anything else? Anything else here?
No, we put at the bottom of our memo again, the conservation development done the last couple as well. That's just for information, I recommend.
I can't think of any conservation developments we have in the town of Hudson. That much in the town of Troy.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any.
And that is kind of a product of just how the ordinances are laid out. Troy has their own zoning and subdivision that lets you 1 acre lots and has density transfers, so it works in Troy. And everywhere else I've tried to put it on paper with the conservation design provisions, and then with the town's lot size and things like that, I just can't get it to work. I'd like to make it work if the ordinances were tweaked a little bit or a little different, where either gave a density bonus or flex the lot sizes more or something, but under the current rules, I haven't found a way to do that. Other than in Troy, basically, because of their kind of custom designed ordinances.
Yeah, and that's a product of the 2.5 acre average, probably, and 2 acre minimum.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? We don't have to make a motion on this, it's just a concept.
So yeah, basically, everybody, and I'll bring it to the board as well to discuss the driveway issue. The county, I need to look at my emails, I think Jason did respond from the county about the concept, and they didn't seem to have issue with it, but I'll verify that before I come to the board. If they
leave on Brummel, you'll have to have a 200-foot distance.
Yes, that's
And then on the new road, well, that one,
it's 100, right, on the new roads.
but it's not a dead end. It's not a cul-de-sac.
Right.
It's a
It's-
temporary cul-de-sac.
Yep. Yep, 200 is required.
I mean, it would probably be a Class E. If it was a dead end, I'd say for sure.
Yep.
But since it's going to extend, I'm hesitant.
I feel like when we did Moonbeam and Hidden Waters development out there, that those were 100 feet, and I don't know if that road did go through. But we can look at that, if it needs to be 200, I don't think it's an issue. The only ones where we're probably close to that is 8, 9, and 10, and those could be moved. It's just preferable not to put a new driveway onto a cul-de-sac that gets removed if you don't have to.
But I get that.
But we can certainly look at that.
Yeah, just double check on that, just so we're clear.
Yeah, it's good to double check. I think it's 100, but
I think it is too, but with it being a temporary cul-de-sac, it's not a dead end.
right.
I think the other item initially that was brought up was whether an access needed to go to the north on this. And when I looked at it, and you look at kind of a larger overlay, I don't think so. This County Road N is right up there, and all the surrounding property is the same owner. From a road connectivity standpoint, this could continue west. The stuff to the north probably serves from a different road location and potentially an access that comes up and then comes down this way. So that's why I looked at it, but it didn't seem like it warranted 2 road connections here because of the contiguous ownership.
That generally we landed to Bryce and I were looking at it and debating if we should recommend that another access to the north be provided. Just not knowing how that's going to develop, and there's space there. We'll connect out to Brummel, we'll connect out to Ben. There's a bunch of connections already. So, yeah, it's appropriate to say that.
Anything else? Going once? Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
Is there any other proper business for the planning commission? Just a reminder, my last meeting will be August.
Where are you going?
Well, September I'll be in Nashville.
You're done? Who's the number?
I'm going to recommend Becky in the chair, if it's okay with her. She's filled in quite a few times, and I think she's done okay.
She looks so
Wait,
excited.
is she committed?
I'm going to ask her. Yeah, time to think about it. anyways. Thanks. Anything else?
That's a wonderful recommendation. Some of the other communities that I work in, actually, I think all of them, have a representative from the board that is also on the planning commission. They have some new crossover, and I don't know, obviously it's not the planning commission's decision on who comes appointed as the boards, but maybe something to think about if there's a PC.
Make a motion